Hi everyone, welcome back to Adobe Live. So excited. My name is Arabela Espinoza. I am one half of Weekend Creative, a commercial photography and art direction duo based in San Jose, California. But I'm super excited for this Photoshop creative challenge that I'm about to get into. Please tell us where you're watching from. Say hi in the chat. Don't be a stranger. I know last week I didn't get to say properly hi to you guys, so I'm really, really excited. I already see Voodoo Val in here. She's the best. Always gives the best challenges. I see Robert, Franco, Texera, Kevin. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm super excited to get into this challenge, but I do want to just quickly say that please subscribe to the YouTube channel for Adobe Live. There's always so many amazing streams happening all the time, plus other creative challenges that you can join. But for this creative challenge today, make sure to check out the starter files. They're available for you to follow along. I also, I'm going to show you some techniques, but I would love for you guys to kind of take it in your own direction if you'd like. But yeah, we're super excited. So today I'm going to be editing a fun little quirky Galentine's photo shoot in the spirit of Valentine's Day. So let me go ahead and open these up in Photoshop. They're super, super fun. And we have basically, these are two of our friends. I can't believe the shoot was from 2018. So always really fun to revisit something that you did a long time ago. Ellie and I were working on this fun little shoot for actually a women's conference. And the whole theme was like best friends. But honestly, this kind of works for Valentine's Day too. I mean, Galentine's, or I mean, or all kinds of love, right? Like we're in the Bay Area, so you never know. But yeah, this is super fun, and I thought we should kind of edit these photos and see what we can create and use, all these tools in Photoshop, including generative AI, to help us create something really fun and dynamic. So let's go ahead and edit these images. So I have camera raw here and all of these photos are in here. This is the image that I'm going to be working with at first. So let me go ahead and edit this and then I'll apply these edits to the rest of our images. So typically I'm in Lightroom Classic when I'm editing things, but I figured we'd stay in Photoshop. Nice little challenge. We've got all the tools in Camera Raw the way that we do in Lightroom, so it makes it really easy as well. Yes, thank you, Vuduval, for putting the starter files there. Make sure to check that out. So let's get into it. So I obviously need to make sure I do some very basic corrections here. So we've got our optics here. I want to remove chromatic aberration and use profile correction. So if I uncheck this, you can see that there's a lot of vignetting happening here. And I really want to have like a pretty like flat, you could say, like image, especially if we're going to be adding things to it. So making sure I check that off, and that automatically adjusts and fixes that lens distortion. You can always go in and, increase the vignetting or decrease it. You have total control over these tools. So cool. That looks great to me. Let's go ahead and go over to our color section, right? Our white balance is looking a little cool. Sometimes I like to let Photoshop, I'll do auto just to see if it gets it correctly, but sometimes it doesn't do, sometimes it does a little bit, sometimes it doesn't. So in this case, I'm just gonna make this like super warm because I think it should be. I think it was a hot day too, because even if you can tell in these images, we have full on shadows. So this was like a bright day. So it definitely needs to be warm. And then just kind of playing around with our tints, right? So it is Valentine's Day, so and it's a Galentine's photo shoot. So I feel like I'm taking some creative liberties here and kind of just pushing, what's normal for editing a photo shoot. In this case, I'm gonna just like up the magenta a little bit just to give it that little extra kind of pinky flair. So again, just kind of tweaking our temperature here, making sure that I want to make sure that their skin looks good, so maybe bringing back the tint a little bit, but still keeping it that pinky, tone. And of course, always messing with our vibrance and our saturation. Now, saturation can get real crazy real fast. So sometimes I advise not to use it unless you like it's for like creative purposes. Vibrance is my favorite because what it does is it takes like unsaturated colors or like the most desaturated colors and brings those up without affecting the rest of your image. So then you don't get the crazy like contrast that you would if you're increasing the saturation. So I will bring that vibrance up, and that already does such an amazing job. So I'm going to click that I button. Look at all the changes that we made already, and that looks so much better. So let's continue on. So I'm going to just kind of zoom in here a little bit. And let's go over to the, color mixer, you guys. So in the color mixer, what's great about, having the things in Lightroom Classic that we do in Camera Raw is that we have point color as well. So we can kind of get even more creative about the colors that are in our image. So maybe like, we want to play with the hair, and adjust certain things, but maybe we don't want to do all of it, right? So that's where masks come into play. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove that swatch here. And let's say I wanted to change her hair a little bit. Let's go ahead and mask her hair. So I can just do an object mask here. Again, all these things are available in Lightroom Classic too, which is awesome. So I'm glad that they're also here in Camera Raw. So I've selected her hair here, and now with that mask selected, I can go down to our point color and select her hair color here. And we can play around with the color that we want. So we can make it a little bit more on that like, purpley magenta kind of vibe if we're going for that, that color palette. Or we can go the other way, it can get pretty crazy, but I think I'm into the a little bit like more magenta here. Now, of course, there's a couple of things happening here. It's kind of also painting her ear, which we don't want. So what we can do is do subtract on the mask, and then I can just select brush, and using my little bracket keys, the left bracket key, I can just kind of remove that part of that mask. So that way it's not getting super affected. So quick, easy way to affect something there, and change something so simple like that. So cool. That's awesome. I love that. And maybe we also want to, like we could also do the sweaters, right? Make them a little bit more saturated. So we can go in here and also do another mask. So we can hit plus, and I'm going to do objects as well. And I'm going to just kind of go ahead and loosely select the sweaters here. Now I should have zoomed out a little bit so I can actually see what I'm selecting here. But usually it does a pretty good job of knowing what I want it to select. And I can always fine tune, obviously the skin tone. If I choose to make any changes to the pink sweaters, it might also change the skin tone here. So, sometimes. And of course, not always is it going to get it right. So that's okay. That's where you can refine by adding and subtracting. So just an option there. But I'm going to go ahead and delete that so that we can get to the fun part. So let's go ahead and delete mask 2. That looks great. And then back to our channels there. Okay, awesome. So I want to select all the edits from this image and copy them over to the rest, right? So I'm going to copy, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Command and click all the rest of the images, and I'm going to do paste edit settings. So that looks awesome right there. That's such a big difference. Oh, so fun. I love it. So I'm going to hit OK, but I am going to click on this image because that's the one that we've got in our starter files. And we're going to work with this one first. So let's go ahead and open it. The good thing about changing all the settings on those is that if you go back to where you have your images stored, the XMP files of those edits will also be added to that folder. So now when you open it back up, then you'll be able to kind of pick up where you left off, and the edits are right there. Of course, if you want to start over, you can always delete that XMP file and you should be good to go. But let's have fun with this image. This is a fun one. So I'm kind of trying to think of what I want to do with this. I feel like it would be fun to do like a little like spotlight. Um, like a heart spotlight, almost like as if it was like, the way that there's a spotlight for like like a show, right? With the circle and it's like beaming down. But I think it'd be kind of cute for this kind of photo here. So how do we create? I'm not a designer, you guys. I'm not a designer. I'm all about getting stock or like figuring things out if the easiest way for me possible, right? So that's where generative fill really comes in handy for me because I can make quick, shapes or things or generate something and be able to use that as like a framework. So let's go ahead and just make this a square. And actually, I'm going to change this to generative expand so that Photoshop knows to just expand the side of the wall here. And I'm going to bring it up a little bit. I know this is actually kind of an easy photo to expand because it's just the wall. But maybe we'll do that maybe I'll go down a little bit just to see if it'll know to get the pants as well. But let's go ahead and press OK. We've got a few more people in the chat. We got, hello, William. Thank you so much, Axel. Super fun to have you guys in here. Just editing this fun little Galentine shoot. Okay, so looking good. I mean, wow, perfect. And I'm just kind of sifting through the options to see which one I like. That already looks amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and just flatten, or I'm going to duplicate these layers. So if I hit both Command J, and then I can merge these layers by hitting Command E or right clicking. I'm just going to call this my base. And I'm going to put these into a folder so that it's my like Gen Expand comp. Okay, so here's our base. So now I'm looking at this photo and I'm like, okay, what do I need to fix here that is distracting, right? So generative fill, man, it's a game changer. Either, I like to go back and forth between a few different tools, right? There's remove tool, which is powered by generative AI. You can select the mode, generative AI on or off or auto. So depending if you want to give Photoshop the ability to choose what it thinks it's best. So, basically it'll just kind of determine, okay, I think it does need it or it doesn't, and it'll do the magic for you. I mean, amazing, right? But let's give it a little bit more of a difficult project. So how about we like remove this whole entire reflection, right? So let's go ahead and hit generative fill. And again, we all know that, if you will. So let's go ahead and generate that because I want it to just kind of like cleanly remove this wall reflection here. And we'll see what it does. Wow, I mean, so good, right? Amazing. I think I like that first one the most. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing over here because I want it to clean up that little reflection there. I mean, generative fill has changed the game for me as like a product, photographer, and especially like in my own personal work with portraits. It just makes cleaning up so, so much easier. So again, and I mean, it doesn't only just work on things like this, right? Like if I wanted to fix hair, I can just go and make a loose selection with this little lasso tool, and I can have it clean up the top of the hair too. Because, we all know hair can take a long time to retouch, but if generative fill can do it so much faster, like that's amazing. So that looks way better than before. And if I really wanted to get even more crazy, I can do it once more and get all of these little flyaways here. So I'm going to try it just to see. Okay, perfect. Amazing. Thanks, Jack. Yes, we're here doing the Photoshop Creative Challenge, sharing how we can use generative fill to our advantage to create some really fun portraits. Like, ooh, okay, that one's probably the best so far. Which, yeah, that looks great. Maybe her hair's now a little bit too flat, so maybe we can even do a little transform there. And I'm gonna maybe like warp it. Oh, and actually, I might need to rasterize this first. So I'm going to rasterize this layer. And then now I'm going to hit T and I'm going to warp right here just to kind of give it a little bit of a shape there. That looks so much better. Okay, great. So one of the things about, obviously generating is that it gets put on on these separate layers. So I like to just merge these layers together and now we can see kind of the edits that we have made so that we can continue to move forward. I mean, generative fill is kind of insane. I mean, I tested this earlier and I was like, okay, what if we wanted to like add some nails, like, a nail color. So guess what we're doing? We're gonna add a nail color here. So making sure that I have my add to selection here. I'm just gonna kind of select her nails. Not that her nails are bad, but just in the spirit of Galentine's, I feel like maybe they should be like pink or something cute. So let's give it a try. And actually, you guys, I totally forgot that my feather is at 8 pixels. Oh my gosh, we need to make sure that's 0 so that it actually works how I want it to. So let's try that again. So I'm just kind of circling the nails here and we're gonna add some fun nail color here. Okay, there we go. I think that's what's fun about, generative AI is that you can just get real playful. Pink. Now, I'm trying to think if I should put pink nails, maybe baby pink nails. Uh, and maybe I'll leave it at nails and then if we need to put like nail polish, maybe we'll see. So you gotta have to like get creative with the wording and the prompting because that's important, you guys. Sometimes I've come out with some really weird stuff. Okay. Amazing. Wow, you guys. Okay, look at this. That's really, really good. Ooh, okay. I wasn't expecting to like this. This is kind of like a marble effect. I'm into it. That is so fun. And I can always go in and like adjust this marble to be a little bit more pink if I wanted to. But that's actually really, really cute. And I love how it did the like like a different design for the middle. Like that's very trendy right now. I'm gonna go ahead and do it one more time. Buddha is asking, any pro tips for background compositions of cropped photos? Ooh, okay. So background compositions of cropped photos. Do you mean like, um, anytime that there's something's cropped and like to generative expand? Is that what you mean, Buddha? Elaborate for me, just so I'm getting it clear. Okay, wow, you guys, this is so cute. Okay, this is my favorite already so far. Look at that little sparkle. Amazing. Okay, love it. So let's continue on, you guys. And then yes, Buduval, please explain to me what you mean, and I will definitely get to you. Um, ooh, Jaybird, maybe you can use something like a lens flare. How do you get the background to fit the cropped image? Oh, the background to fit the cropped image. So depends, right? I mean, this was the background already for here, but maybe elaborate what you mean because I think I'm not 100% getting you, but thank you for asking. Okay, just want to make sure I get your questions here. Oh, how do you get the nails to be this way, especially what setting do you use? Yes, Jay. So I'm just literally selecting, make sure that your Photoshop is updated, you guys, because it does so that your, Gen Fill is working. But I'm literally just making selections around the nails using the lasso tool and then hitting or typing in like baby pink nails. So that's kind of how I got to that. Okay, so now the other way that I wanted to show that's a really fun way to use generative fill is I love generating shapes to use in my image. So again, kind of what I was mentioning earlier, adding like a spotlight, right? So let's go ahead and just select the whole image here and I'm going to do generative fill and it'll generate on top of the layers that we've been working on, right? So it's a totally separate thing. I'm just going to put heart shape or red heart shape. Doesn't actually need to be red because I'm just going to be using it as a frame, but it'll be fun. Let's see. So it'll be kind of like a little heart spotlight. So let's see. Ooh, okay, cute. Oh my gosh, that is precious. I think I love this one the most. So let's go ahead and I'm going to rasterize that layer and I'm going to select it. So let's select that. And now I do kind of want to fix I want it to be a little bit more like centered, right? Just kind of like cute like that. That's awesome. Okay, let me make it a little bit bigger. and center it a little bit more. Oh, that is so precious. Okay, so now we've got our shape, right? So here's how we use generative fill to create this little spotlight, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and select it again, making sure that I have my magic wand tool. Now, the key thing here is to hit Command Shift I to kind of inverse your selection, right? Now we don't need this too much, right? So now what I'm going to do is I am going to making sure that I'm selecting my base. I'm going to go ahead and go over to select and mask. So now we've got our, so this is kind of what I want, right? So what I want to do is I actually want to feather this, right? To make it like a little bit more of a little spotlight here. So that's the effect that I want. And I think that looks so good. Okay, so let's press OK. So now what I can do is I can just hit layer, new fill layer, solid color, and now add a like fun, cute little spotlight. And I want it to be like a little more pinky-ish, something like that. And then, ooh, that's so cute. Making sure that I'm in my palette, right? Hit OK, and then now I can bring down the opacity to kind of add that little spotlight there, you guys. Isn't that so cute? I'm obsessed. Okay, amazing. Now, if we wanted to add some extra things, because I feel like it kind of needs to have like some like text going on here, right? I feel like it would be fun to add like my gal pal or something like text around our, our gal pals here. So I'm going to hide this for a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little path tool here. I'm going to use the curvature pen tool. Or, I mean, I can also freeform too, but sometimes the curvature pen tool is a little bit easier. But what I want to do is I want to form a path around our girls here so that I can add text that's kind of like repeating. So let's kind of do that. Now I want to make sure that there's enough like space for the text here. So I'm going to be kind of like big here. There we go. I'm also hitting Command Z if I kind of mess up a little bit. That's so cute. Okay, love that. So now what I can do is I can hit T. So let's go ahead and find a fun font that we like. Let's see. There's so many cute ones, you guys. You have to go on Adobe Fonts and download your favorites because there are so many good ones everywhere. I feel like I'm liking this little fun one, or even like Gigante. That's so cute. Oh, there's so many, you guys. Let's go with Gigante Black. There we go. So now what we can do is if I hover over this path here at the beginning, it's going to turn into a little curve thing, and it's basically going to add text to it. So that looks amazing. Let me make it larger. And ooh, I actually kind of like the color added. I didn't even do that on purpose, but that's kind of a cute color. It's kind of like a cherry red. So let's go ahead and hit OK. And let's make the text bigger, right? And actually add what we want to say to it. So let's go ahead and hit 72 points. Maybe that's too big. Oops. Maybe like, yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, and then let's go ahead and type out our little gal pal. Oh, that's so cute. And sometimes because of the curve, right, you might have to do a few little extra spaces there. I know for my designers out there, you probably would know a better way to go about this. So I will always encourage any comments. Ooh, and I meant to do gal pal. There we go. So cute. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, that is so precious. I'm so into it. Perfect. Okay. That is so, so cute. Okay. And now if we turn back on our little spotlight, now we've got a cute little heart with our text, and we could print this out and it could be our Galentine card that we want to send to our friend or anything like that. So this is just some of the ways that you guys can use generative fill to create fun little dynamic portraits or photos that you can send to your friends, you guys. Oh my gosh, thank you. How did the time go by so fast? Um, Thank you guys so much for being here. Please try these techniques out at home. Would love to see them and tag us on Instagram at Weekend Creative if you happen to, edit these photos and edit this photo and I want to see what you guys create. So thank you guys so much and stick around for the next creative challenge that's happening in a bit. Bye.